कामाख्याय नमः। ॐ कालकालाय विद्महे कालातीताय धीमहि तन्नः कालभैरव प्रचोदयात्। Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video of our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava. Today we will talk about a very essential topic, which is really a foundation for the sadhana paddhati, especially when it comes to the Bhairava sadhana. As sadhakas and upasakas, we need to know about what exactly the Sankalpa is about. We can quickly think that actually Sankalpa is not just a foundation, it's a key to the Bhairava's infinity's grace. Okay, that's how actually I think that would be a one line word which I can share it to you all. But if it has to be put across into a proper structure, okay, so before that, let me just recite you one particular story which is really connected to the Bhairava Sankalpa. Long time actually in the sacred city of Kushadipa. It's previously it was being part of the Kashi Nagra, where every time fear and threatened, at that point of time there lived a humbled upasaka. His name was Jatinesa, and deeply yearning for the truth wisdom, because wisdom is the utmost priority at that time people used to give it. He decided to undertake the sadhana, that too our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava sadhana. He heard many stories about like how Bhairava blesses through, who walked the path, but one teaches was repeated by every steps he takes into. Like he got into a took a thought, and he happened to actually reach one of the sadhus, and but one sage always used to recall one particular sage wordings was, the sage always used to tell that without sankalpa, sadhana is a ship without a direction. So with this particular word, Jitanesha was actually completely confused. He approached one of the sadhu, uh, and that sadhu actually who lived near to the Bhairava temple at the Kashi, he actually smiled at the Jatinesha and said, "Your eyes glows with a fire, with the inner knowledge." And he spoke very softly that, "Oh, oh my child, Bhairava is the guardian of Dharma, the fierce truth within. When you take a sankalpa, when you take a anusthana, when you take a sankalpa as a foundation, you are like you are actually stepping into a realm. Bhairava is a lighting a flame into your soul. You tell existence itself like, I walk this path." He recited the Sanskrit mantra, put it into a simple word. Take I I take this path. I'm ready. This is what the true preparedness for all the sankalpas or a sadhakas need to first think about. I walk this path and I am ready. And Bhairava, who sees you just not as an outer actions but a inner woe, and immediately takes a notice. He watches, he protects, he opens the door invisible to the ordinary mind. When The sage, when the actually sadhu told about this statement, Jatinesa was able to get little clarity about what exactly the Sankalpa importance is there when it comes to the Bhairava consciousness. The sadhu then told him one more story. This is a story inside the story. The sadhu actually told him the forgotten story in the Kashi Khanda. Once during the churning of the cosmos, okay, when Devatas and Asuras forgot, were fighting for to get the Amritam, the nectar. Even the gods were unable to hold their grounds properly. I know that you would be knowing in all these things, Tridevas actually supported a lot. At that given point of time, Mahadeva actually was a key instrumental who played when Hala Hala came into an existence. He was the only Devata who was able to take this into himself, because he was the only one who had that potent. He is the only one in this entire cosmos, Shushti, where such kind of poisonous hala hala, he was able to take it up. So, um, in the desire, the prayer of the Shiva Tattva, let us consider as Bhairava himself. Okay, the Bhairava appeared. It is like Shiva. Shiva was able to get into, but we as a Ishtarth, as a Bhairava, let's say consider as Bhairava appeared. He was fiery and shining, and golden rays emitting out of it, like 1,000 suns actually illuminating from him. He whispered and asked that particular Devatas as well as Asuras. He claimed one particular statement. Shiva himself claimed one particular statement in the Bhairava Swarupa for us. Who among you has the Sankalpa strong enough to hold the Amrita, not for their own self, but for the Dharma? Then this particular question was being asked to the Asuras as well as Devatas. All were silent except a quite humbled being. There were two Devatas and one Asura who came forward telling that my Sankalpa is very strong. I have took a Sankalpa to you, Mahadeva, Bhairava. I have took a Sankalpa where which the Sankalpa is a pure inner vow without selflessness. Bhairava gave him a blessings to protect this nectar. Through the Sankalpa, the impossible become possible. Here, what we need to understand the storyline here is when Jatinesha realized the Sankalpa is not just a thought, it is a soul command to the universe. It is a bridge between oneself as well as Devata. That is what even the sadhu was able to explain to him. When the Sankalpa is clear, Bhairava grace becomes unstoppable. Jatinesha took a simple, heartfelt Sankalpa before every sadhana he started taking up. His patience became alive, his vision came, intuition sharpened, and his fear melted away. Slowly he realized that Bhairava himself has become the guardian of this journey. But how? This was one of his life way of situation which made him to get liberated into the Bhairava consciousness. See, in this story, what we need to understand is even Puranas, there are many stories in the Kashi Khanda which has been narrated by our own great sages that Sankalpa is the foundation of the sadhana paddhati. Let me tell you from a mythological front end, mythological importance of a sankalpa when we do in a sadhana, especially when we perform or when in the ancient tantra as well as agamas. Sankalpa is like considered as beginning of a sacred action. Whatever action you perform, whether it is Vama Marga or a Dakshina Marga, or it is any kind of an involvement in that particular Dakshina Marga, whether it may be Panchamakara or any sort of an actions, any sort of tantras or agamas when we step into Sankalpa considered as a sacred action. It is the first step of every sadhana. It is thought that even the gods cannot fulfill the divine work without taking a clear sankalpa, a vow or an inner commitment is very, very essential when it comes to the sadhana. When it is come to the Bhairava Anugraha sadhana, and when it comes to the Sankalpa, plays very, very vital role in one's upasaka's or a sadhaka's life. Bhairava begin the Lord of Kriya. See, Bhairava himself is a Lord of Kriya, divine action. He's a Dharma Rakshaka, Apatuddharaka. He himself is an Karya Siddhi and also a Sankalpa, immediately a support, protect, energies the sadhaka who makes the Sankalpa. This will be bestowed by our Guru Bhairava in the sadhana paddhati. Without Sankalpa, energies remain scattered. With Sankalpa, energies are much more focused, like a laser, cutting through the inner confusions. Whatever confusions we have, it laser cuts and it will make sure that actually you have a clarity towards what you are trying to do in the sadhana paddhati. That's the importance of Sankalpa in the sadhana. In simple steps of the Sankalpa in Bhairava sadhana, there are many simple stages. Like normally we tell that actually as a um, five elements as water, air, ether, um, as well as other two. Like whenever we take Sankalpa of the five elements, the five elements, whatever we do, um, whenever we look back, when it comes to the five elements in the sadhana paddhati, the five elements basically portrayed as how exactly these five elements are connected to us. Five elements are essential, and that essentials are um, it is a foundation, basically what we call it as. It may be like the earth, the Prithvi Tattva, always very, very quotient when it comes to it, because it solidifies the thought process. The water, the Jala Tattva, is much more essential when it comes to the coherent of your thoughts, more fluidity of your thoughts come into an existence. Agni Tattva, the fire, it is a sharp intellect which is actually essential for it. The fourth is actually Vayu, air. It is a stability. It is a dry. It will make you a movement. It makes to a, it is a circulum of the facilitating the movement which is called for our sadhana paddhati. The last and much more important is about space, Akasha Tattva. Extensive formless, providing the medium to all the other elements to existence and interact is Akasha Tattva. Why I'm trying to tell you this? Five steps are very essential because normally when we do a sankalpa, we normally we do like sitting before the stillness before the sadhana, sitting quietly, feeling with the heart, taking his name, clarity of in the heart, what we are trying to do. State of you our sankalpa, what we normally take. It is visualization of the Bhairava, his presence and support. Fifth is actually like being a sadhaka with the devotion and the strength. All these things matters when it takes as a Sankalpa foundation. Maybe I'll try to give much more insight, information in incoming lines. Before that, let's understand when it comes to the Sankalpa, we have three types of Sankalpas in sadhana. Iccha Sankalpa, Jnana Sankalpa, Moksha Sankalpa. Iccha Sankalpa is somewhat like desire based. To, for example, if we have to fulfill our desires, we have something fulfilled to heartfelt wishes we have. It may be a courage, it may be a healing, it may be wealth, it may be protection. All this comes in Iccha Sankalpa. To fulfill that desire based Iccha Sankalpa is very, very important. Maybe I'll just let you know how exactly that is connected. Jnana Sankalpa, wisdom based. Basically, to awaken the higher knowledge, intuitive power, understanding, Jnana Sankalpa is what very, very essential. When it comes to the Moksha Sankalpa, the liberation base, to attain the ultimate freedom beyond worldly bondages. See, let me again recite and remind you, you cannot reach to the Moksha Sankalpa unless you have completed these two. Iccha Sankalpa, completing all your um, personal fulfillments which you want. Normally, all the 95 or 99% of people do the Sankalpa. Like, I want XYZ from Daiva. It may be health, wealth, protection. Wealth will be much more importance when it comes to the Iccha Sankalpa, as I normally see as this is as a common factor. Jnana Sankalpa is very few of them. In 95, 3% of people or 4% of people will look forward for Jnana Sankalpa. It is like a wisdom based, it is awakening your knowledge to the higher consciousness, to the Bhairava Tattva, the Bhairava consciousness getting activated, the intuitive power of the Bhairava coming to you, and understanding of the connection with the Daiva will happen much more better. Here, let me recite one thing. Few people actually have texted and asked me, like, the jnana, whatever the information you give to us, whether why can't you actually make this as boost up in the YouTube such that actually it reaches to the higher people. Let me recite this and underline this. This can be seen whoever is ready for the Bhairava consciousness, or else they will not be able to see this video. Even if they see it, they will skip it up. There is no such kind of thing unless His Karuna, His grace. It is impossible. Ultimately, what it comes is Moksha Sadhana, the liberation base. You attain the ultimate freedom. You get connected to Him. Leaving all the worldly bondages, you get connected to Him. That's what are the three stages of Sankalpa in the Sadhana Paddhati. Let me also tell you one information, like how Sankalpa is connected to the real world. Okay, like just a ship needed a clear direction before sailing. Okay, and life energy is needed for the clear Sankalpa. It is very, very essential, because when you are going into the Bhavasara, it is called, even in the actually in the our own Sanatana, the life is called the samsara, and the samsara is called Bhavasara. Bhavasara means in the deep ocean. Even when you are in mid of the ocean, the only thing which sails you towards is the direction, and the direction should be very clear, and that direction is nothing but the Sankalpa with the our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava. In the real life, when you are clear about the intention with the feelings, okay, clear intentions with the feelings, your natural begin to meet the right people at the time, see the hidden opportunities, overcomes the obstacles with inner strength. Sankalpa creates a vibrational pathway through the Bhairava. Unseen grace moves into our daily life. This is what happens when you take the Sankalpa and start the sadhana. Over time, you see a real transformation. The strength with power, fearless living, a deep intuition, and the divine protection in the critical moment of your life will be provided or protected by our Guru Bhairava himself. See, Sankalpa is invisible bridge between we, our soul, and the Bhairava's infinity grace. So normal Sankalpa, people normally take a Panchapatra Udharana, like they will take a bowl and as well as a spoon, put it on the right hand, such that they will make it as a shanku. Normally they will make it as a shanku, such that actually one drop of water has been poured into this particular place, and we take a O in front of in Daiva, asking him that actually whatever we look forward. It may be like Iccha Sankalpa, Jnana Sankalpa, or Moksha Sankalpa. But try to understand, once you take that as a promise with the elements, the water element, it will be thousands time much more potent. Okay. Uh, Let me just tell you this. Okay. Before the first mantra touches the air, whenever we speak, before the first fire flame is lighted up, whenever we do a diya, and the journey begin through our Bhairava sadhana, that should happen through the Sankalpa. Sankalpa is not just a thought, it is a soul's promise. It is the heart silence roar to the existence to the Bhairava consciousness. In his grace, realm of Bhairava, where our true has power, Sankalpa is light calling his grace. Bhairava may be a furious, a guardian of the Dharma, listening not to the outer noise, but to the pure fire burning within us. When, as a sadhaka, a pure Sankalpa before the sadhana we take, we will and the divine grace meet as one. It is not so easy. Then the unseen world stares, even the hardest wall being the crumbled. The sadhana without the sankalpa is, is like a river among the stones, lost. Sadhana with the sankalpa becomes the mighty current, flowing straight to the ocean, and the Bhairava essential blessing starts from there. It's not uh, even even if you sit beside the Bhairava's name for more 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Many people come and ask me, I'm doing Bhairava sadhana from more like 2 to 3 years, but I'm not able to see any kind of results. Do not do the sadhana to get the results. As I told you, have a connection with him. Have a connection with him such that he comes and bestows whichever is best for this particular life, not for the well being or the comforts of our life. Every time when you take a sankalpa, it may be Iccha, it may be Jnana, it may be Moksha, any type of sankalpa, make sure that you recite something with your most connected way. To put it into a simple words, let me actually help you what how exactly we can take the sankalpa. Most of the time, as I told you, 95% of the sankalpas, when we take it, it may be like for the wealth. See here, before going into that, let me just tell you, this is only the way we get connected. Always it is the bhava. Bhava is the soul. It is actually the prana of the sadhana. Unless proper bhava is not there in the sadhana paddhati, it will be a mechanical recitation of the Bhairava Nama, which will not yield any actions or outcomes of the results. For example, for a wisdom, Jnana Bhairava Sadhana, we tell that actually do a sadhana. Guru Bhairava Sadhana, for everything is a Guru Bhairava Sadhana to awaken the higher knowledge, deeper intuitions, and the clarity. What as a sadhaka or we can do is, if I if I am taking a sankalpa, how I need to I take a 1 drop of water from a uddharana, a spoon of water into the on my right hand, keep it my left hand below to my right hand, telling that I perform this Bhairava sadhana with a pure heart for awakening of the divine wisdom, discrimination, and the light of the true knowledge within me under the grace of Guru Bhairava. Just by telling this, Jnana Bhairava, our Guru Bhairava, sadhana paddhatis can be enabled. For example, if you want to perform a Kala Bhairava sadhana for the protection, for example, you want to you go to your exams, or you may be having certain bigger thoughts. obstacles coming into your life, you have unrecognized, unseen enemies around you. That time, for the protection, what we can do as a seeker, or if we have any kind of a fear, nightmares, or a fear of death, or a fear of unseen thoughts, fear which doesn't exist nor past or future, only we are indwelling in it, or obstacles getting into our life, making our life miserable. It may be enemies, unseen enemies, or it may be a inner weakness. How we should do? Take a udharana of water, put it in your right hand, hold it your left palm below to the right palm, telling that I, as a sadhaka, undertake the Guru Bhairava sadhana to recite the divine protection, fearlessness, and the unshakable strength from our Guru Bhairava, the guardian of the dharma and the soul of every energies around me. By this, your sankalpa will be much more protected. Guru Bhairava in the Kala Bhairava Swarupa will be able to bestow you. The third one, the most requested for every sadhakas, the wealth, the stability. So as I told you, unless Iccha doesn't complete, Jnana will not open up. Unless the Jnana Dwara is never opened up, the Moksha Dwara is never opened up. These are the three doorways to get connected to our Guru Bhairava. For the wealth and stability, we normally do a Bhairava sadhana of like Ashitanga Bhairava or Ruru Bhairava. Normally we do a sadhana paddhati. But let me underline, all Ashtabhairavas comes under or govern under only one Bhairava Swarupa, that is Guru Bhairava. The stability of the material life, finances, or bring the prosperity into your life in the dharma way, dharmic way. Adharmic way, you will not be able to get the money when you do a prayers of Bhairava. Only if it is there in your karma phala, then only he will be able to bestow. If the dharma is right, your thought is right, your behavior is right, your connection with Bhairava is right, then only his Anugraha will be on us. Through the Bhairava sadhana, we will be able to do this. How we will be able to take a sankalpa? Take a udharana of water on your right hand palm below it. Through this Bhairava sadhana, I seek the blessing of the divine prosperity, a divine stability, and righteous and abundance under the guidance of Guru Bhairava in my life. And I do a sankalpa or a sadhana for the next 21 days, 48 days, or 144 days, such that my connection with the Guru Bhairava get much more stronger, and whatever the instability of material life I have it, I'll be able to gain it. The financial troubles, whatever I'm facing, it may vanish. The prosperity of which this particular being want end in this life will open up. These are the sankalpas we can take. The 4%, the health or the energy. Normally, when it comes to the Ashtanga Bhairava, Krodha Bhairava as well as a Kapala Bhairava is for the healing purpose. Okay, they are energizing the system, removing any kind of a traumas or the laziness in the one's life. It will be supportive. And as I told you earlier, all Ashtabhairava Swarupa are connected to our Guru Bhairava Swarupa. How to take a sankalpa? Take a udharana of water in the right hand, put a palm. I perform the Guru Bhairava sadhana to awaken the health, awaken the perfect health, the perfect strength, the vitality in this body, the power to overcome the illness by the consumption or the Bhairava being presence with me. I would be performing this sadhana for the next 48 days, one mandala, or it may be a three mandala of 144 days, such that this particular body get rid of the illness which I'm facing. The vitality of the energy comes into this particular being, and your grace and blessings can continue. This is a one way. The ultimate, as I told you, Iccha Sankalpa, Jnana Sankalpa, Moksha. For the final, when you want to perform the Moksha Sankalpa, it is Maha Guru Bhairava Sadhana. It comes as After Tritiya Charana, there are two more stages where which actually the moksha sadhana is being taught. Again, it is only solely depending between you and Bhairava. We are nowhere connected in any kind of a sadhana paddhatis. I always recite that it is not a I I am trying to give you a, or I am trying to teach something, or I am trying to give some information to you which you really don't know. No, Bhairava himself is actually reciting this to the Bhairava within you. Here, there is no conceptual information such as a guru or a shishya parampara. Guru Bhairava is the only one who can liberate us, not the middleman who claim himself as I am a guru and he is my shishya, one of my shishya. I have taken him, I have gone there. This is not going to work out. Where are you taking your ego to the next level? Anyway, coming to the particular topic about the moksha, about our Guru Bhairava sadhana when it comes to the final liberation. When you seek the ultimate truth of Bhairava, the ultimate liberation, the merging into the divine consciousness, merging into our Guru Bhairava consciousness, this is what actually the Sankalpa we can take. Take a udharana of water, put it on your right hand, your left palm below the right hand, with a firm faith. I perform the Guru Bhairava sadhana to the dissolution of the ego, the bondages, the ignorance, seeking the final union with the infinity form of our Mahaguru Bhairava. With this, I take a oath of doing a sadhana for next 21 days, 48 days, as well as 144 days in three different stages of the sadhana paddhati, where I get connected and know the ultimate truth about our Guru Bhairava. This is the way. Okay. I would like to share a few loving tips when it comes to the Sankalpa. Sankalpa, as I told you, is the foundation for the sadhana paddhati. Always Sankalpa should be very, very short. It should be emotionally real. Bring your bhava into it. As I always tell, sadhana is not merely a mechanical task. Sadhana is about bhavana. Sadhana is about putting your entire senses, five senses into it, such that your connection between you as well as a Bhairava get established. It should be emotionally real. Speak from your heart, not from the mind. Speak from your heart, such that actually you get connected to Bhairava. Feel Bhairava already blessing you. See, blessing you the moment you speak the Sankalpa. Bhairava will be available there. He will be seeing us. He will be thinking and knowing us that actually my sadhaka, my upasaka is waiting for my grace. This feeling activates the hidden Shakti inside you. The feeling, the bhava need to be much more stronger. Repeat the Sankalpa mentally. Whenever your mind wavers during this sadhana, repeat the Sankalpa. Many of normally the tattva we or a sadhana paddhat we tell only Sankalpa do it on first time. I never tell this. When you go to the higher level of the charana, of the higher charana, I tell every day repeat the Sankalpa mentally, every day. It should be short. Emotionally, speak to him. Speak to him as if the Bhairava himself is sitting in front of you and you're talking to our Guru Bhairava. Bhairava is listening to you at that moment. End your sadhana by thanking Bhairava for already accepting your Sankalpa, even if results are not yet visible. This is very powerful. Let me underline this. Even if you're not able to get the results in that particular sadhana or the mandala, thank him that actually he gave you an opportunity to sit, meditate about him. It is not merely a connection of doing like I did something, you give something to me. Not at all. He has given a time to you to sit and talk about him, know about him, start get connecting to his own consciousness. So thank Bhairava for already accepting your Sankalpa. Even if the results are not yet visible in your life. This is very, very powerful. Just keep this in mind. In the world of Bhairava, faith is a sankalpa, is more important than your outer perfection in the rituals. Because Bhairava listen not to the outer word. Bhairava doesn't listens to the not to the outer words, but to the inner fire what we get into. So it is always very, very essential when it comes to the activation of sankalpa into our life and make our life much more beautiful and get connected to the tattva of our Guru Bhairava. It is always essential, as I always tell all of you, it is merely His grace that you are able to listen Him. You are able to see Him. You are able to know about Guru Tattva. You know about the real meaning, connection of the Guru Bhairava himself. It is not possible by anyone, not by me or any of the people who talks about the Bhairava. It is only possible by you yourself, because Bhairava reside in within you. Merely the tattva which you are carrying from your past life will just spout out. It will be ready to get accepting His grace into these beings. So Sankalpa, as I told you, is very, very essential when it comes to the sadhana paddhati. It is so merely a blessed situation when you take a sadhana to the next level. If you want to take your sadhana to the next level, the secret behind every successful sadhana is not the time you spend, nor the number of mantra you do a japa. It is merely a connection, but the foundation, the secret key of the your sadhana getting merely merged towards the infinity grace of our Guru Bhairava is only possible by Sankalpa. As I told earlier in our discussion of the video, Sankalpa, without Sankalpa, sadhana is like a ship without a direction. Bhavasara, if you want to remove or go and reach to the destination of your moksha in this Bhavasara of the ocean, Bhairava is the only way. And Sankalpa is which make you a direction focused on where exactly you need to go towards it. So don't get confused, as Jatinesa, as I told you earlier. Bhairava is not going to come you and teach about all these things, nor any of the sadhus are going to come and share you their inner knowledge. So make sure that your nectar of love, the nectar of your surrenderness gets started when you do this. And as I told you, it is also very, very essential when it comes to taking the Sankalpa in the Bhairava sadhana. Sadhana is not just a thought, it is a soul promise. The heart silently listens, it roars and it exists when you do a Sankalpa. So, Sankalpa is a light that calls His grace into our life. So, maybe I don't want to take more about this particular line talking about Sankalpa, Sankalpa. You, as a sadhaka, will get to know about the importance of the Sankalpa when you start any sadhana. Whosoever have been succeeded in the sadhana paddhati, just listen to them, hear them, read them, or know them. Everyone tells that, or everyone underlines one secret word: Sankalpa is a key for you to get connected to our Guru Bhairava. So, with that note, I'll take a leave for the today's topic. Maybe we'll come with the next topic on the next video. Om Bhairavaya Namah. Om Hingulambikaya Namah. Om Kamakyaya Namah. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalahatitaya Dhimahi Tannah Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. ಓಂ ಹಿಂಗುಳೆ ಪರಮ ಹಿಂಗುಳೆ ಅಮೃತರೂಪಿಣಿ ತನುಶಕ್ತಿ ಮನಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಹಿಂಗುಳಾಯ ನಮಃ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.